Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this video, the full version is available on Patreon. I'll be uploading all my content there going forward. It's currently free, but in the future I'll add a small monthly fee to support the channel. Comment or message me what price feels fair for you. Let's make it comfortable for both sides.
Chapter 1. Thousands of years ago, the energy body of chakra did not exist in the world. Humans fight each other mainly with cold weapons and vital forces. In a world where wars continue, it is dark and terrifying at that time. Sorrow and death are one after another in the hungry land. Human beings suffer from life and death. Until one day, a monk called Sage of Six Paths ended the war with great strength, and connected people's hearts together with this energy body called chakra. So people began to understand each other, and peace came. The Sage of Six Paths eventually married and had children named Indra and Ashura. When Indra was 6 years old, he combined chakra and seals to create a powerful force called ninjutsu. Since then, people began to practice power, and at the same time gradually cut off the Sage of Six Paths inheritance. With the chakra bond down, the power-seeking humans started a new struggle. The world will be divided for a long time, and the world will gradually become restless after years of peace. The two opposing forces led by Ashura, the successor of Sage of Six Paths, and Indra, who created a new school, completely cut off chakra, who connected people together, and the peaceful world dissipated directly from this moment. And the profession of ninja was completely defined from this time on, becoming the dominant part of the power in this world. Thousands of years later. Sengoku era. On the southern part cut along the middle of the Kingdom of Fire, on the hills connected to a lake, childish cries came and went, startling the birds in the forest. The camera turned around, and there were wooden buildings one after another on the hill. The buildings were lined up side by side, and the signs of round fans on the walls were Uchiha. The Uchiha family is a cursed family called by the Senju family, but in fact this family is the most authentic inheritance. Its strength is comparable to that of the Senju family. The advantage of the Senju family lies in close combat. Illusion is a unique existence in the entire Kingdom of Fire. No matter what era, strength is always correct, and justice exists in the hands of the victor. The number of powerful ninjas in the family is very large, and the most powerful and daunting one is the powerful Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. So far, no one has been able to survive after contacting the Sharingan. In times of war, all people are soldiers, and any child over the age of 5 needs to go to the battlefield. It is completely commonplace for a 5-year-old child to tell how many people have been killed. While the children were sweating to enhance their physical fitness, the teenager sitting under the shade of the tree calmly looked at the other people who were exercising gymnastics. The candy whose thumbs were bouncing from time to time had a gloomy and haughty face. The physical strength of the Uchiha clan, in fact, it is very powerful, especially after getting the Sharingan, but, now, it seems that there is no such a strong taijutsu inheritance, and even after Uchiha Sasuke grows up, taijutsu is still a mess. Looking around in the blink of an eye, I saw a very cute and handsome little boy with black hair looking helplessly at the training ground in front of him. The only thing that differentiated him from other children was his pair of indifferent eyes. And the young man was still muttering something at this time, but the voice was too small to be heard clearly. "Moqi, are you okay? Even if you die, big brother, there is no need for you to be so sad." Yeah, everyone's relatives have more or less died at the hands of the Senju clan. Even so, we just have to keep getting stronger and get revenge. Perhaps because Moqi was in a very bad state at this time, Uchiha Sanji and Uchiha Yongji walked under Moqi, looked at Moqi with their hands on their hips and said, "The boy's name is Uchiha Moqi. Uchiha Moqi, the homophonic name is rice cake." It is said that he decided to call him this name because his mother liked eating mochi very much before he was born. The two boys who spoke were named Uchiha Sanji and Uchiha Yuji, and there were 2 other boys ahead of them, but they died early on the battlefield. Uchiha Sanji, Uchiha Sanji, Uchiha Yonji, Uchiha Yuji. Moqi looked down at his two little friends. The two brothers had no relatives, only each other. Their father and two big brothers died in the hands of the Senju clan. Moqi, not long ago, the eldest brother of the family died. Moqi, the soul of Uchiha Moqi, came to this world 3 years ago. After quickly adapting to his identity in a few short years, he also got a special ability. After a period of understanding, I have a thorough understanding of my identity. The son of Uchiha Tajima, the eldest brother, is now the eldest brother without himself, and there are two younger brothers, Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Izuna. One is 5 years old and the other is 3 years old, both still breastfeeding. If it weren't for the fact that Tajima had just lost her beloved son, it is estimated that Uchiha Madara could not escape the bad luck of going to the battlefield to kill the enemy now. 7-year-old Uchiha Moqi, as the eldest son of the current patriarch, should assume the responsibility of being the young patriarch, but Moqi no longer wants to bear the horror of war. I'm fine, I'm just a little sad. Moqi stood up, put the jelly beans into the accompanying bag, and turned his head to look to the other side. Actually, everyone is the same. When the big brother was killed, my mother cried all night, and then continued to work the next day. In this era, we are all just a bunch of humble wretches. Seeing Moqi turn his head, Uchiha Yongji mistakenly thought that Moqi was in a bad mood, and suddenly the emotion of emo gushed out of his throat. Yongji, don't say such depressing words. We have to live with the part of our family members who died, at least, we must see the hope of being alive. Sanji's tone estimated that even he didn't want to believe it, but said it anyway. I see, brother. Yongji immediately lowered his head when Sanji reprimanded him, and Moqi also understood that the beautiful family is gone, and now there are only 2 brothers left. No one knows what happened in the end, but Yongji's perfunctory tone, it means that he doesn't believe a word of Sanji's words. Faced with his younger brother's soft resistance, Sanji is helpless. After all, what qualifications do he have to preach to others about things that he can't solve himself? The only thing we are lucky about is that the people we have come into contact with so far are not too strong. Speaking of which, Moqi, the blue chakra ball you showed last time is really powerful. It killed the Chunin of the Senju clan in one fell swoop. For so many years, Uchiha has been at a disadvantage in melee combat, but this is the first time you have seen a close-range one-hit kill. It's amazing. Because of Sharingan, people in Uchiha don't care much about body skills. The most powerful Uchiha inheritance is the unparalleled swordsmanship and fire style. These inheritances have made Uchiha invincible so far. I call that technique the chakra ball. Even genin can display A-level lethality and high-efficiency ninjutsu. Although it is not complete, it can make up for the lack of melee combat. It will be of great benefit. After speaking, Moqi jumped down from above, and the moment his legs were about to touch the ground, his body softened quickly, forming a huge donut, and the dust that rolled up instantly dispersed the entire training ground. That guy Moqi is still so annoying. Yongji waved the dust in front of him with his right hand, and complained as he watched Moqi's disappearing figure. Uchiha Sanji. Moqi's ability is the glutinous fruit in one piece, which can also be called mochi fruit, a raw material for delicious food. Donut ran out of the training ground in an instant and came straight to the door of the house. Donut stopped and slowly turned into a human form at the door. Among the current ninjas, this speed has reached the level of Jainin. Moqi silently estimated and began to recite silently. Chapter 2. Moqi. Uchiha Aoi saw her son coming home, and Moqi also saw the equipment on her mother, so she knew that she was going out again. Every time she went out, Moqi was very worried, especially last time, her big when the brothers went out together, no one came back alive. In this era, the average age is only 25 years old, which is equivalent to a college student who just graduated from Moqi's previous world. The death and depressive atmosphere triggered by the war caused the entire family, no, the whole world is full of darkness. Mom and Dad are going out on a mission. Madara-chan and Izuna-chan will be handed over to you. Uchiha Aoi patiently said, although I'm sorry, the future of the family is more important. Now Makai's strength is not too strong, but being able to kill Chunin is also a unique benchmark. After the eldest brother sacrificed, maybe Aoi thought she didn't care about this kind of life and death anymore, but Makai understood that in the mind of a mother, the death of the eldest son was still a heart disease, only because of the future of the family and the number of busy tasks. Aoi didn't. It's just time to recall the pain, but now that Makai is the eldest son, it is very clear that Aoi has never called Makai the responsibility of the eldest son. However, Makai's strength does not allow Makai to live under the protection of his parents like this. There are many ways to improve strength, but the fastest is actual combat, killing in battle, and even surviving, is what ninjas of this era, no, everyone has to go through. Don't worry, there is absolutely no problem. Mom and Dad, come back early. Uchiha Moqi first glanced at Uchiha Madara and Izuna who were still playing happily, then turned his head and nodded to Uchiha Aoi. Childlike innocence, Moqi also understands, and in the previous life, Moqi has 42 years of experience, but most of the time he still likes a person, a lone wolf who doesn't fit in, and he is talking about people like Moqi. Although I don't want my parents to go out, I still can't stop the progress of this fate. Precocious children are like this in any era, and sufficient information will promote the maturity of thinking. Moqi sighed silently, I really envy you carefree children, but even so, you will be the same as me in a few years. In the original book, Uchiha Madara also became the fighting force of the family very early on. Even if she is there now, time will make everything pale and powerless. Moqi was very excited when he became a member of Uchiha at the beginning, but when he learned that his name was Uchiha Moqi, Moqi was very indifferent. But when I learned that I have a younger brother named Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Izuna, Moqi's heart is broken. Although I don't know who Uchiha Moqi is in the original Hokage ninja. But Uchiha Madara is definitely a thunderous existence, but does Uchiha Madara have a big brother? And for such a male number 2 with a halo of doom on his head, it would be a nightmare to become this guy's relative. Parents are gone, brother is gone, a lonely family, but it is also a matter of the future, and everything is unknown now. Although luck may not be very good, but Moqi still believes that as long as his strength continues to grow stronger, even if it is the so-called halo and destiny, if he wants to take down Moqi easily, he will have to hurt his muscles and bones. Big brother, my stomach is starting to growl. Perhaps because they were tired from playing. Madara and Izuna, 2 little dolls with a little more than 1 year difference in age, came to Moqi with half-snot noses and tugged at Moqi's clothes. Well, what do you want to eat? I want to eat milk cake made by Big Brother. I shredded coconut. You 2 little gluttons. Moqi patted the heads of the 2 little guys. Even Uchiha Madara was enjoying his big brother's head stroking at this time, and even leaned on him for a hug like Izuna. After Moqi came to this world, he realized that the life of a ninja is actually not easy. It is commonplace to have a meal, but Moqi's glutinous fruit can convert physical strength into glutinous rice, that is, as long as Moqi's physical strength and chakra keep it unlimited, you can have as much as Naomi wants, and you can also be immune to physical attacks, which is negligible for ninjas. Taking care of children is a great exercise for one's physical strength and energy at any time, especially the 2 little ones who are still very young. Moqi turned into a super dad in an instant, and began to take care of his 2 younger brothers carefully. After a while, Moqi's palm began to slowly turn into glutinous rice, and the sticky glutinous rice slurry slowly flowed into the bowl. Immediately stop creating glutinous rice. Mix it with fresh milk after stirring constantly, stir again quickly, and finally just put it in the container and steam it out of the oven. After an hour. Horse squeezes Baku TS. Wow wow wow. It smells so good. Uchiha doesn't have many recreational activities, and most people can only get 300 grams of rice every day. As the patriarch, Tajima can have a little more enko, but it's just a pipe dream to eat fresh milk and glutinous rice. It is because Moqi does not want his younger brothers to go out of their way to find milk because of malnutrition. Otherwise, Uchiha's overall quality should be in a subnutrition state. I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna start now. Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Izuna started directly after the milky voice. The milk cake that was just served was still steaming, and it was a little hot. Moqi hugged Izuna and fed Izuna bit by bit with the milk cake. In the back kitchen, Moqi, holding a food box in his hand, reached the roof in an instant and left the house. Back mountain training ground. It turns out that there are a lot of wild animals in this area. Since Moqi took over here, except for one wild boar, the rest of the boars have lost the ability to reproduce. Close to the territory occupied by Moqi. Sanji, Yuji. Seeing the backs of Sanji and Yangji from a distance, Moqi yelled loudly while speeding up, and ran out of the afterimage from a distance of hundreds of meters. Sanji, Yuji, I have to take care of my younger brothers recently, and it is impossible to go out to perform tasks in a short time. Choo-choo. 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 Moqi, what are you going to do next? If you don't complete the task, you won't have much income. Yangji is already 12 years old now. In 3 years, Yangji will also be at the age where he can get married and have children. There are not enough supplies, but there is no marriage. Daughter-in-law's money. Chapter 3. The two brothers don't eat much food, and after a while the food is finished, and after a short rest, the two begin to practice. By the way, Moqi. Recently, the Hyuga clan in the south and the Uruaki clan in the south had fierce friction. It is said that the death toll on both sides reached 100, and the casualties were heavy. The news of the more distant family is not yet known. The two brothers discussed their plans for the next step while eating, but even so, they didn't figure out why. On the contrary, they became even more contradictory. Sanji's idea is to fish in troubled waters, transfer hatred to other families, and intensify conflicts. On the other hand, Yuji is a little more direct, and has quite few similarities with Sanji's concept. If there is no oil and water to fish for, the fighting in the south must be further chaotic, and the south must not be stabilized, otherwise, Uchiha will become the target of public criticism. The Senju family in the north is eyeing them. If there is no chaos in the south, Uchiha's situation will be more troublesome. The crisis is not only on the surface, but a deeper relationship. Hatred can last, but there is a bottom line. Some knives are not if it is necessary to wave it down, it has risen to the bottom line of human nature. If it is done, it will be extinct in the true sense. But having said that, the acupuncture technique of the Hyuga family and the dead bone pulse of the Uruaki family, one soft and the other hard, I just don't understand how they fight, but it will be bad if they are against us. Hyuga family, Hui Uruaki, the power of the clan should have no effect on you, Moqi. Sanji knew that Moqi was immune to physical skills, presumably chakras, acupuncture and bones harder than steel should have no effect on Moqi. Moqi was silent for a moment, and then with a bang, his body turned into smoke and disappeared in place. Extra words are a kind of ineffective chat. Strength is the main body. Strong personal charm will be infinitely magnified in front of strong strength. This is the most important thing. This guy left without authorization again. Seeing Moqi disappearing in place, Yangji began to complain the next second. You are really healed and the scars are forgotten. Don't you have any memory after being severely repaired by Moqi before? Not used to it. A year ago, Uchiha Sanji and Uchiha Yuji met Uchiha Moqi when they were bullied on the training ground after their mother died of depression and illness. Relying on strong physical strength, Uchiha Moqi easily defeated the family's special Jainin, who was over 12 years old, and gained the admiration of the two brothers. A month ago, on the training ground at the Patriarch's house, opposite Uchiha Moqi stood Sanji and Yuji. Two people present horns to each other, as long as Moqi takes the initiative to attack anyone, the other can support at the fastest speed. This style of play is also what Moqi told them. Moqi is also very skilled in Tianji's horse racing fighting skills. In previous battles, Moqi immediately left the weak ones to himself first. Jainin is difficult to entangle, so two people need to cooperate with each other. Sanji and Youngji already have the strength to entangle Jainin in a short time. Moqi, although you are the leader of our team, since it is a duel, you must show your true strength, and Laozi has tolerated you for a long time. Don't think that you can be unscrupulous because you have some special abilities. Youngji immediately took out the short sword from his pocket and rushed towards Moqi. At the same time, Sanji's hands began to form seals. As soon as Moqi started to use that strange Nyomi ability, he immediately used fire style to fight against him. Although Nyomi is not afraid fire, but the reduced amount of moisture in it affects flexibility. The moment Yuji was about to reach Moqi, Moqi finally moved. What? Just as he was about to stab Moqi with a sword, Youngji suddenly found that he could not move forward. He lowered his head and found that his feet had been stuck to the thick glutinous rice, and he could not break free at all. At this moment, Moqi's Qingtian faced with Youngji's face, he pushed it up at once. Do not joke. The strength of the legs is more than twice that of the arms, and even so, Yuji barely blocks Moqi's blow with his arms in front of him. The violent impact almost made Youngji lose consciousness, but even if he could bear it, his body was still kicked out by Moqi Qingding, and he stayed in the air for a while before regaining control of his body, relieving the pain of his body and hitting the ground a few times. Roll to stabilize your body. This huge power doesn't look like a Uchiha person, a humanoid monster. Fire style great fireball technique. While making complaints, Uchiha Yuji quickly made seals. Water style induction wave. Just when Yuji was hit by Moqi, Sanji's ninjutsu also started to play. Looking at the oncoming giant great fireball, Moqi looked calm, a little surprised, and a little pleasantly surprised. After so long, Sanji finally realized that he could not simply use a ninjutsu to easily solve the battle, and at the same time opened aware of Nyomi's weakness. Water style drenched Yuji's legs, and all the Nyomi softened instantly, losing the power of restraint. At the same time, fire style will affect the flexibility of Nyomi, making it difficult for Moqi to use Nyomi's true power. I know my combat style very well. As expected of Sanji, but at this level, there is no need to use ninjutsu. Baked rice cakes. Facing the fire style in front of him and the water style technique behind him, Moqi stood on the spot, turned sideways to the two forces, swung his arm fiercely, and his big arm quickly melted into glutinous rice, concentrating the energy of fire style and bursting out in an instant. Just for a moment. Moqi's baked rice cakes engulfed Sanji's fireball and Yuji's water flow, and the impact wave of the explosion sent the two directly flying. Rumble. The air waves of roasted rice cakes rolled in, and Moqi standing in the center of the explosion range was even more affected by the roasted rice cakes, but after the rapid glutinous rice, the impact was minimal. Can you still stand up? Is this the strength of the patriarch's child? A monster of only 6 years old. What the hell is that weird rice cake? Sanji barely stood up. The impact of the two flames hurt him not only from the air waves, but also from the loss of moisture caused by the high temperature. Parts of his body were burned by the flames, and there were scorched marks on his face. This guy's strength is simply unreasonable. Looking at the calm Uchiha Moqi, Uchiha Sanji thought so. Chapter 4. In the blink of an eye, the next day came. As always, Moqi got up early, washed and dressed, activated the ability of Nyonyo fruit at the door, and his body turned into an oversized donut rolling towards the back mountain. Avoid affecting the two little dolls in the family. Of course, all of this is in their eyes. As early as 2 years ago, Uchiha Moqi's ability was shown in front of the family. The power of Nyomi is no secret. The mobilization of Nyonyo fruit requires strong physical support. If you do not have a strong body, you cannot use Nyonyo fruit for a long time. Physical strength is always one of the most critical elements. Back Mountain Training Ground. It only takes 11 minutes to get here from the door of our house. The last time it was only 16 minutes. The progress is very fast, very good. While pinching the time on his pocket watch, Moqi came to the training ground in Hyushin, an hour before Uchiha Sanji and Uchiha Yuji appeared here. Glutinous rice clone technique. Next, do your best. That's right. As he said that, Moqi's avatar clenched its fist and made a creaking sound. The battle was about to begin. Moqi and the avatar rushed forward face to face, and both sides violently swung their right fists at the opponent at lightning speed. Ha! Boom! Early in the morning, on the side of the back mountain, which is relatively far away from the clan's land, it is understandable how much movement there is, but this time the force is more terrifying than before, causing this loud noise to be heard in the core area of the clan. Accompanied by the sound of thunder, Moqi and the avatar were punched hard on the cheeks. Time seemed to stop, but in an instant. The huge force made Moqi and the avatar feel like arrows leaving the string, and they were slammed down on the trunk, and the trunk behind them was hit by the violent shock wave to create countless cracks. Feeling the power of going all out, Moqi only felt a pain in his jaw. Because of his good physical fitness, this level of attack did little damage to him. Is this the power brought by the Nyonyo fruit, or is this the power that I should have? Moqi only thinks that he has such power because he is a time traveler, but at present he only owns the Nyonyo fruit, but he does not know that in a future catastrophe, the power of the Nyonyo fruit will save the whole Uchiha. At this time, Moqi's physical fitness is estimated to be comparable to that of Katakuri in his youth, or Moqi himself is Katakuri. Baked rice cakes. Mobile glutinous rice balls. Moqi and his glutinous rice avatar activate the ability of the glutinous fruit, and hot orange flames flow quickly inside the arms of the main body. The avatar slapped the ground violently with both hands, and countless glutinous rice slurry quickly radiated to the surrounding area centered on the hands. When the baked rice cakes condensed, the flowing glutinous balls also came to the feet of the main body. The flowing glutinous balls turned into hands and dragged Moqi's legs forward fiercely. Then Nyomi's arms stretched rapidly, and while lifting Moqi high, an arm appeared on the ground again, holding a huge mace. While quickly lifting Moqi, the mace slammed down on Moqi's body. Cut and cut rice cakes. Perform a quick spin based on a donut, and then jump up in an instant, with the arms condensed into the shape of a mace. The kinetic energy generated by the impact force that erupted at that moment was 100 times that of the normal state. Not to mention an adult, even with a trick like Susanoo, it would be damaged. After continuous attempts, Moqi finally completed all the tests on the glutinous rice clone. The strength of the glutinous rice fruit is characterized by its unstable shape like running water. Except for the water that affects the viscosity, the rest of the attribute attacks have little impact on the glutinous rice. Even earth style can't affect Nyonyo fruit. About half of the Uchiha family's back mountain belongs to Moqi's private territory. In the past, there were a lot of poisonous insects and beasts in the forest. The surrounding area of the family is surrounded by carefully designed steel and traps to prevent wild animals from entering the family land. However, in order to satisfy the internal needs of the family Moqi will always enter here at a fixed time to find enough meat and medicinal materials. Thanks to the deep family background, Moqi learned early to judge the medicinal materials owned by this era, and has been learning the family's medical technology. Here in the remaining area of the back mountain where wild animals infested is Moqi's paradise and natural breeding ground. It's just because Moqi is not afraid of the poisonous insects in the forest. For other people, entering this area is quite dangerous. Die. In the forest, Moqi stood in front of a tiger. Facing the tiger, Moqi only had indifference in his eyes. At this time, although the tiger had no scars on its body, it was entangled tightly by the glutinous rice, just like a huge anaconda strangled its whole body, but Moqi only used the stickiness of the glutinous rice to trap it in place. Ground, the most important method of killing is to tightly cover the respiratory organs of the prey. Violent resistance will only accelerate the consumption of oxygen, and finally achieve the unscathed killing of the enemy. This method completely refers to Charlotte Carter. It was the same when Takuri wanted to suffocate Luffy, but the difference was that the tiger didn't eat imported glutinous rice. The tiger's vitality is still very tenacious, even so it still persisted for 5 minutes before slowly falling down. Sorry, in this era, even your fate must be in our hands. What a pathetic creature. Carrying prey, Moqi did it not so much as a last resort, but because of his own interest. Moqi himself didn't know, but, maybe, the world we live in is like this, cruel and warm, fair and selfish, contradictory and harmonious, except for human beings. In addition, as long as all organisms can be used as food and contain nutrients, they can be defined as valuable in the first place, and this is the reality. Leaving the forest, Moqi immediately went back to dissect the prey, and kept the valuable fur, and found a suitable time to go to the castle of the Fire Country daimyo, hereinafter directly called the capital of the Fire Country, to sell it for a good price. Those who have money people like this kind of things with accents. Don't you see that the daimyo of Fire Nation has a precious white tiger skin in his hand? It is a priceless good thing. It's a pity that such a tiger happens only once in 100 years. Oni sauce. At the door. Hearing this voice, Moqi thought to himself, should the two little ones at home have something to do, or are they hungry? What's the matter, Madara, Izuna, are you hungry? Chapter 5. Oni-chan, my stomach is growling. The youngest, Izuna, hugged Moqi's calf and looked at Moqi with watery eyes, as if yearning for something. The 3-year-old child is still in a budding growth period, and at this time it is not as powerful as it will be more than 10 years later. Mangeki Sharingan holder Uchiha Izuna's haki, on the contrary, is a kind of cute, which relieves the nerves that are already a little depressed. Uchiha Madara, who was also pulling Moqi's trouser legs, looked at Moqi expectantly. In this era, it is very sad to be hungry, but as a big brother, Moqi absolutely does not allow starvation to happen at this point. Maybe it's because Moqi has been away for a long time, or maybe the child is very hungry. Madara and Izuna are looking forward to Moqi cooking something delicious, and even seeing the prey behind Moqi, they know that they can eat meat today. After coming to this world, Moqi was also very hungry at the beginning. At that time, his big brother would often go out hunting to supplement his nutrition. This is true for the whole Uchiha and even the ninja world, but the most common meal is on a daily basis. Even the patriarch Uchiha Tajima only consumes about 1,500 grams of food per day. Anko rice is a luxury, a real luxury. Taking care of children is a great exercise for one's physical strength and energy at any time, especially the two little ones who are still very young. Well, what do you want to eat? Seeing the two younger brothers, Moqi found that, as a big brother, he felt pretty good. I want to eat milk cake made by big brother. Izuna called out to Moqi in a childlike voice. Uchiha Madara's small eyes lit up instantly, and she was full of yearning for Moqi's milk cake. Two gluttonous little guys. Moqi pampered and rubbed the little heads of the two younger brothers. Madara, take Izuna to wash it, and it will be ready to eat in about 15 minutes. Back kitchen. Moqi looked at the chopping board in front of him, straightened his hands, and the glutinous rice balls in his palms slowly fell on the chopping board. Under Moqi's control, he seemed to come alive like a snake, devouring the wild honey and milk on the table. After honey and milk, the glutinous snake also grows rapidly at a speed visible to the naked eye, and then curls up into a ball. Moqi puts it into the pre-prepared mold at once. The production of milk cake not only allows the ingredients to be tightly bonded together, you also need to master the heat. Good ingredients only need simple cooking, and heat is the key factor. Sure enough, the milk cake I made tastes really good. Big brother steals. Big brother is bad. Just when Moqi was holding a milk cake to try the taste, Uchiha Izuna ran in from nowhere and saw that Moqi was holding a piece of milk cake with a gap in his hand, with a big mouth, but the movement of his hands did not stop, ran to the edge of the stove, climbed up with a chair, grabbed the milk cake cut from the chopping board, opened his mouth and started eating. Okay, don't be so anxious, eat slowly, don't choke, there are still a lot of milk cakes. Moqi patted Izuna on the back, hugged him, and left with the milk cakes in his arms made of glutinous rice in the kitchen. I thought to myself, is it still impossible to avoid such serious sequelae caused by hunger? Or, this is an inevitable disaster. After Moqi left with Izuna, he came to the front hall soon. At this time, Madara was sitting upright and waiting for the food to arrive. Compared with Izuna, she was much less childlike, but she seemed to understand a lot of truths in just 1 year, and Moqi was also very helpless. I hope that time can heal all the scars. A good childhood heals a lifetime, and a bad childhood needs a lifetime to heal. This is reality. The sugar in the milk cake fully stimulates the taste buds, and the secretion of dopamine makes the pain instantly overwhelmed by the dessert, but Moqi is not very interested in this. After all, as the eldest son, the family needs to be born by himself in the future, especially since the parents are not too young. As the average age is only 25 years old, Uchiha Tachima's 31-year-old age is already a dangerous signal. In the previous life, Moqi did not have a good childhood. He did not start to form his own family until after he realized the freedom of wealth. Happiness has just begun. Uchiha Tachima and Uchiha Aoi cannot leave Moqi's world because of the war. People will die twice. One time is when oneself dies, and the other time is when the last person in this world who knows oneself dies. Such is the loneliness of human beings. Big brother. Seemingly aware of Moqi's strangeness, after a moment of silence, Uchiha Madara spoke tentatively. It's okay, everything will be fine. Moqi stroked Uchiha Madara's little head. What was the truth? Moqi knew in his heart that every time he went on a mission, there would be casualties, disputes with the Senju clan, and even a life and death situation. Compared with the battle with the Senju family, Moqi discovered a very strange phenomenon after learning about the powerful families in the entire Fire Kingdom. These families, including the Uchiha family, do not have their own production organizations. Simply put, it is a serious lack of self-sufficiency. The only one in the Fire Nation that has this ability is the Fire Nation daimyo, but in fact it is still in the hands of the generals, as if the territory of the Uchiha clan and the Senju clan are actually directly belonging to the Fire Country daimyo, but other families are attached to other generals. Uchiha and Senju, after all, are just a game secretly manipulated by the daimyo, playing the two most powerful families in the palm of their hands, even if after Senju Hashirama established the village decades later, the Fire Country daimyo is also slowly eroding the military power of Konoha village. The military expenditure comes from the daimyo, so the order is naturally the same. The milk cake is delicious, but there is no trace of happiness in Moqi. Maybe it is because I am used to this kind of tasteless blandness, and the stimulation is meaningless. Back Mountain. When Uchiha Moqi came here, Uchiha Sanji and Uchiha Yuji had already started training. In the middle of the sandbags swinging everywhere, Uchiha Sanji closed his eyes, relying on hearing and perception to perceive the position of the surrounding sandbags, and kept walking on the single plank bridge. After a while, he was hit by a sandbag and fell to the ground, but soon he would continue to stand on the single plank bridge and continue to avoid the sandbag. The same is true for Yuji. Lack of physical fitness is the disadvantage of most youths in Uchiha, and because of this, Uchiha Yuji puts more emphasis on physical training, and is constantly working hard. Moqi, you are here, what are you eating today? Chapter 6. Today is milk cake, plus a small amount of meat. Seeing Sanji walking towards him, Moqi flicked his right hand and threw the food box into the air. Under the power of Moqi, the food box reached an incredible speed, but Sanji's speed was not slow. When he opened the Sharingan, he jumped up, whoosh with a flash of black shadow. Sanji held the food box with both hands, stood vertically in the middle of the tree trunk, bent his knees slightly to buffer the force of Moqi just now, and complained, "Even if you want to test, don't throw food. What should I do if I go out and hit someone? It tests you like this because you believe you can catch it." After listening to Moqi's words, the two who knew Moqi very well stopped joking and realized that something was wrong. Any plans? Or is it just out of interest? The Haughty clan is a group of lunatics. The Hyuga clan may not be able to stop it. I plan to intervene. At least the actual control range of the Haughty clan cannot reach the border of Uchiha for 50 kilometers. This is a necessary safe distance. In the south of the Uchiha clan, the first to bear the brunt is the Hyuga clan, but in some areas, they are relatively close to the lunatics of the Haughty clan. If this part of the territory of the Hyuga clan is missing, the Uchiha clan will be harassed by the mad dogs from the Haughty group. There is no reason to be a thief for 1,000 days. The Haughty family? You should know the situation of that family very well. If you can't kill with one blow, this group of mad dogs will stare at Uchiha. With a serious tone, Sanji couldn't understand Moqi's plan, but at this moment, there was no possibility of refusing. The dead bone pulse of the Haughty tribe, even the weapons made by the best craftsmen can be easily cut. No weapon can be held by the bones of the Haughty tribe more than 10 times. This is the latest data, but the shortcomings of the Uchiha tribe are also obvious. Although the bones can be pulled out from the body, the function of the body will decline after long-term use of the blood succession limit. From being born to being able to fight, the time to be able to fight in the true sense is only 10 years. Sanji recalled his understanding of the Haughty tribe and talked about it. The bones of the Haughty tribe are very hard. Moqi, don't forget the last time the three of us met two Kaguya ninjas. If it weren't for your ability to directly entangle the two of them so that they had difficulty breathing and then suffocated, death, that's the three of us. As soon as he saw the two people who were communicating, Yang Ji put down the milk cake in his hand and reminded them of the previous information. The Uchiha clan is no big deal. After speaking, Moqi turned into a donut and rolled back. This guy Moqi is still the same. Sanji opened the food box, and he still saw the same food prepared according to his and Yang Ji's tastes on the upper and lower floors, but it was not clear whether it was specifically referring to Moqi's care. In this era, intelligence is one of the key factors in the outcome of a war. The strength of combat power cannot be compensated in a short period of time, but intelligence needs to be continuously cultivated by several generations or even dozens of generations. There are also such intelligence agencies in Uchiha. But the number is not many, most of them are contests with the Senju clan in the north. In the south, because the white eyes of the Hyuga clan can quickly detect, so the number of scouting ninjas is relatively small, and a small number of ninjas can replace this kind of work. However, Yuji, it is precisely because of this style of adapting to changes that I will follow him. Yuji continued to chew his food. Sanji glanced at Yang Ji, took a deep breath, turned around and jumped up to the branch, resting against the trunk. I really envy you, Yang Ji, no matter what time it is, you are so happy live every day, even the state of indifference is still the state of mind. After the loss of two big brothers, Sanji's mentality began to change. Since Uchiha Moqi showed strong personal strength, Uchiha Sanji realized that since he does not have the power to change the world, he should follow the people who can change the world. Follow him and you can change yourself. Facts have proved that Uchiha Sanji's choice is correct. After decades, even though Konoha village was established, Uchiha Moqi is still the one who has never changed himself and guarded the Uchiha family. The strong back. Of course, the reason why Uchiha Moqi said that the Haughty clan is no big deal is simple. Because Waxy Fruit is not afraid of Chakra's energy attack. Only water style can touch Makai's body. Whether it is the Hyuga family or the Haughty family, as long as the blood succession limits and tricks of this family that require pure chakra attacks or even physical attacks, in Makai's view, they are tickling. Not everyone is like you every time, Uchiha Moqi. Sanji thought helplessly, but since Moqi intends to meet the Haughty clan, as a follower, as a partner, he will help out with everything. Night. On the border of the back mountain of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Moqi is waiting here early. After the glutinous rice clone is fused with chakra, it is like a wood-style clone. It has a long use time and even has 50% of Moqi's current strength. It is the same even if you add a glutinous rice clone. When, it is very advantageous. The breeze was blowing gently, and a crescent moon in the middle of the night was reflected on Moqi's face through the gaps in the leaves, and the leaves fluttered gently. You too, the speed is too slow. We don't have your special ability to ignore obstacles. Da-da-day. Da-da-day. Sanji and Yangji walked out from the dark. The double gojade in their eyes shows that their strength is already at the level of Chunin or even above. Sanji is 14 years old this year, twice that of Moqi, both in terms of physical function and the quality of chakra. The threshold for a special Jainin is reached. Has everything been arranged at home? Moqi. It's been arranged. We won't be going out for too long this time, so we don't need to prepare anything. Even if there is a mistake in the plan, we can come back in 2 months at most. Okay, no more. After Moqi finished speaking, his body softened quickly, wrapped Sanji and Yangji in it, turned into glutinous rice donuts, and disappeared into the depths of the forest. It's this trick again, this time you won't be as dizzy as last time, right? Before Moqi could reply, the voices of Sanji and Yangji had drifted away amidst the restless sound of rolling wheels, but it can be seen that there was no trace of sliding on the ground. Moqi used chakra wrapped in glutinous rice the surface, cut off the trace directly. Chapter 7. This time is much easier than last time, Moqi. Your control over glutinous rice is getting stronger and stronger. The last time I ran away on Moqi's glutinous rice donuts, because I didn't control the internal stability, Sanji and Yangji almost cocked their braids when they got off the car. Such angular speed and strong impact caused both of them to lose their cerebellums for a period of time. Without the ability to stabilize the body, lying on the bed can only be fed by Moqi as a disabled person, but the resentful eyes of the two have no effect on Moqi at all, because they only look at the mouth the whole time. Time flies. Moqi led the two of them directly through the beast forest area in the back mountain. Leaving the back mountain area. The closest one is the Senju clan. Around the range of the back mountain, most of the areas are related to the undetermined area of the Senju family, and only a small part of the area connects Hyuga and Kaguya in the south. At this time, Moqi has come directly to the south of the Uchiha clan. In just half an hour, the night was dark, when Sanji and Yangji were released from the sticky rice by Moqi. The two people are still a little uncomfortable. Under the strong centrifugal force, even if the interior tends to be stable, the speed is too fast. The result of this sound is that the sound produced by the high-speed friction with the air makes the ears of the two feeling bad. Ugh! 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 The moment they landed, the two couldn't help throwing up, but compared to the last time, they didn't feel dizzy. After killing me, I will definitely not let Moqi lead the way. It's even more uncomfortable than going to the battlefield to fight with the enemy. Life is worse than death. I agree, if this happens again, it seems impossible to stop it. Moqi's speed is too fast, if we want to catch the two of us. Yuji and Sanji communicate during Sharingan hallucinatory time, but Yuji is skeptical that he can avoid Moqi's sticky rice donuts. What are you two doing? Hurry up, this is no longer a safe area inside Uchiha, don't you know that you have entered the battlefield now? After Moqi slowly turned into a human form, he squinted at the two. In his eyes, he had the same two Tomo Sharingan as the two brothers. However, compared with the two, Moqi's Sharingan seemed to be a little gentler, perhaps because of Moqi himself. Is an outlier. Not everyone is the same as you, Uchiha Moqi, and there is no need to move so fast, right? Your speed just now, but you can shuttle the entire back mountain in half an hour in one breath. Janin's speed is not 10 times faster than yours, 1/3 faster. Sanji stood up and wiped his mouth, and looked at Moqi speechlessly. The Sharingan of the two started to communicate in the illusion world, because in the illusion world, you can speak harshly towards Uchiha Moqi without any restraint. Spotted by the enemy. My speed will only be faster in the future, and the enemies I face will be stronger. If you don't want to be led by me, just become stronger. After speaking, Moqi quit Sanji's illusion chat. Yangji, what are you doing on the ground? Get up quickly, and start fighting. I know, really, everyone is a fighting madman, and they don't consider the feelings of their dear partners at all. While complaining, Yangji stood up, took out the short sword in the backpack, and threw it at Moqi and Yangji together with the scabbard. For these weapons, I almost kneel down to Senior Ieyakuiro. Don't let me prepare weapons next time. I'm almost going to have endocrine disorders when I ask for help. Looking at Sanji and Moqi who were stroking their weapons, Yangji complained helplessly, but seeing the expressions of Moqi and Sanji, it was obvious that the two of them didn't notice his feelings at all, so they just made complaints about it, and next time they reckoned it was better to go by themselves. After all, who made him choose such a choice when he first chose a weapon that he thought would be easy to solve, but it turned out to be Uchiha Ieyakuiro, the most difficult craftsman in the family. That guy is very difficult to deal with. Is the jungle at the junction of Hyaga and Hwayuryuaki in front? It is said that the scouting ninjas of the previous family were discovered by the Hyaga clan before entering it. The observation range of Bun is too wide. If Uchiha also has this in terms of observation ability, it surpasses the Senju family by a large margin in terms of intelligence. About 10 kilometers away from the forest, the three of Moqi stopped moving forward. Continuing forward will only expose the traces of his own side. Originally, the mission was carried out without authorization, and it would be terrible if it was discovered. The abilities of the Hyaga clan are really good, but the gentle fist and the blockade of chakras acupoints are not enough to deal with the Hwayuryuaki clan with dead bone pulse. In this battle, the Hwayuryuaki clan has the upper hand. Sanji heard Moqi after speaking, he opened his mouth and analyzed it. The Hwayuryuaki tribe is not invincible. Couldn't Moqi suffocate them to death before? And the human body has weaknesses, whether it is the neck, eyes, or even ears, as well as the dignity of a man. These places are extremely fragile. Yangji, he gestured with a branch. Let's move on while it's dark. Summoning technique. Boom. The Uchiha family has summoning beasts, but Moqi's summoning beasts don't seem to be very obedient, so they have to use Sharingan to perform hypnosis the moment they are summoned. Ninja Eagle, this one of Moqi just doesn't like Moqi very much, I don't know because of what, but as long as it can be used, others don't pay too much attention. Let's go, we're going to go through this forest at night to reach the other end of the Hwayuryuaki tribe, so that they can feel what it means to be a real fighting nation. It's been a long time since I came out. Sanji looked at the familiar scene in front of him. It seemed that the tree by the river had grown taller again. It's been half a year since I walked this road last time. I don't know if I will have a chance to look back and enjoy the beautiful scenery here. Moqi complied with Sanji's words and sighed for a moment, then continued to move forward, and the two of them simply ate glutinous rice balls as a physical supplement along the way. There is no such thing as Bing Liangguan now. The only one who has the ability to make excellent soldier food is the Akamichi family from the south, but this family has always been connected by blood with the other two families. The three families are one. They are far away from Uchiha, but they are very intelligent and crisis-conscious. In Moqi's view, these three families are the most intelligent and crisis-conscious families in the entire Sengoku era. When other families do not rely on the alliance of other families at all, these three families knowing that their strength is single and weak, this family chose an alliance relationship, and even created an offensive and defensive strategy of three families, Inoshika ch. High in the air, the cool wind is chilling. But Makai's glutinous rice directly wrapped the three people, and the feathers on Ninja's body can protect the body from the severe cold at high altitude. Then Makai and Sanji jumped down, and Ninja caught Makai and Sanji. Chapter 8. By the way, Makai, this thing called a telescope, to a certain extent, has a certain similarity to the white eyes of the Hyuga clan. It's just an extension of consciousness using a certain principle, it's not a big deal, but the southern part of the Huayuruaki clan, I remember it should be an extremely difficult family. Makai frowned as he spoke. Is that rumor surpassing the Uchiha family's illusion family, the Kurama family? It is said that people's five senses can be drawn into the real illusion, and the damage that people receive in the illusion can be transferred to the illusion in the real world. However, such illusion masters after all, there are only a minority, and the population of the Pommel Horse clan is too small, and their shortcomings in physical and ninjutsu who are good at illusion can't be made up for in a short time. Why, Makai, are you afraid of this family? Sanji doesn't believe that Uchiha Moqi would be afraid of a family of pure illusions, but it should be able to make Makai say something. However, Makai can pay attention to it, but it doesn't mean that the Kurama family has much ability to make the Uchiha family fear. Makai is not worried about the abilities of the Kurama clan. The fact that the Kurama clan can still exist after the establishment of Konoha village shows its tenacious vitality. Even in the darkest period of Konoha village, Shimura Dans and Sarutobi Hiruzen did not attack it. The weak is on the one hand, on the other hand, the illusion is really powerful, the illusion of stepping into reality, what a terrible illusion it is, it simply surpasses the role of infinite Tsukuyomi. As long as there is enough chakra, it is very simple to kill a person at will. We Uchiha are also very good at illusion, okay? If we talk about illusion, it's our Uchiha. The illusion of the rest of the family is not worth mentioning. Yongji said unconvinced that it was not arrogance, but a reality, but Yongji ignored a reality. The illusion strength of the predecessors represented a kind of history. Only the long-lasting ones are Uchiha's real confidence. Just like Konoha village after the establishment, the Senju family quickly stepped down, only 2 Hokages, and then Senju Tsunade was left, although I don't know if Tsunade should use this surname, but let's use it like this, including Aoi Jiraiya. That's also the strength of our Uchiha seniors, not us, Yuji, your illusion level, so I won't say much. The implication of Makai's words is obvious. They are also the holders of Shuangguyu. Yongji's illusion level is really not flattering. Shuangguyu is also very good, but the level of illusion, Yongji insisted on showing the level of a Spartan warrior. He has brute force, no skills, and no ability to drop 10 times with one force. Moqi is the most powerful. The strength that erupted in an instant reached an astonishing 10 tons, and it can even be higher after growing up, but Yongji, forget it, in the eyes of the real strong, Yongji is just a matter of thinking about 10 seconds to solve. If you want to play cat and mouse, Yongji should endure physical and psychological torture. Yongji, your level of illusion is not even as good as that of a 5-year-old child, so don't use it to fight against others. Moreover, it is impossible to use illusion when fighting Moqi. Moqi not only possesses Nyonyo fruit, but even masters haki such as the color of knowledge, but the armed color seems to be for some reason not available, but it does not affect Moqi's intentional and clear perception of everything around him when he does not need to use the Sharingan. Therefore, fighting Moqi at the level of illusion has no effect, or it has little effect. Uchiha Moqi itself does not need to use illusions. The power of taijutsu and ninjutsu directly ignores the effects of illusions on oneself, and water style can only wet oneself. If you want to rely on illusions to attack yourself, it will only activate passive skills. Moreover, the water flow must also be sea water to cause Moqi to lose the passive of glutinous rice body. That kind of thing is estimated that as long as Moqi does not set foot on the beach, there will be no danger. Killing Moqi can only wait until Moqi is exhausted and unable to activate the ability of the glutinous fruit. It will be a massacre. We're about to arrive, ready to make an emergency landing. After finishing speaking, Sanji and Yangji's faces turned purple for a while. You don't intend to? Everything was exactly as Sanji predicted. Moqi grabbed the two of them directly, and then spread his limbs directly towards the ground in a free fall from a high altitude, just like Kaido of the Beast's free-falling bungee jumping. When trees about 1 millimeter in height could be seen with the naked eye, Moqi directly opened the glutinous rice protective umbrella, forming a cavity behind his back, allowing his body to be suddenly lifted by the air. The voice that life is worse than death came suddenly, and the eyes looking at Moqi were full of anger and helplessness. So, being with someone like you is the most dangerous thing from the very beginning. Rather than saying it's dangerous, it's better to say it stimulates the heart anytime, anywhere. Moqi, if you like to torture people, go catch a few enemies and torture them. Don't just use our partners as your own guinea pigs. I see, next time I will notify you in advance. After a moment of silence, Moqi finally opened his mouth, but it would be better not to say this sentence. If Sanji and Yangji didn't need the power of Uchiha Moqi's summoning ninja hawk and Nyonya fruit right now, they would directly turn against Moqi. Of course, in terms of strength there is a big gap with Moqi, and it will take a long time to catch up with the current Moqi. You're right. If I meet someone from the Haughty next time, I'll take a good look at the physical condition of the Haughty when I'm interrogating information. For example. Seeing Moqi's serious expression, Yangji said curiously. The bones of Haughty people are very hard, but the recovery ability is still the information inside Kaguya. After capturing the captives, break the bones to test the recovery speed of dead bone pulse. Secondly, the body's resistance. The toxin of Lion Majesty in the back mountain can test their body's resistance to toxins. Finally, it is the body function of the Haughty tribe. I am very curious, how that guy last time was able to fight me for a minute when his breath was blocked. UBD, you are indeed the only person in the history of our Uchiha clan. As soon as Sanji heard Moqi's words, he imagined the scene of Uchiha Moqi torturing the enemy in his mind. It was really terrifying, and his hairs stood on end. Chapter 9. We have finally reached the target, Moqi. There seem to be too many enemies in the southern part of the Haughty tribe. When Sanji and Yuji were led by Moqi to a few kilometers outside the Haughty camp, the sound of fighting in the southern part of the Haughty directly attracted the attention of the three. However, the smell of gunpowder in the air would only make Uchiha group of people feel excited. This strong smell of blood belongs to the Uruaki tribe. That's right. The smell of this beast is really disgusting. Sanji symbolically blows the bad smell out of the air with his right hand. Moqi, do you have a plan? On the top of the tallest tree in the surrounding forest, Uchiha Sanji lowered his hand holding the binoculars and looked at Moqi on the left and said, "Adapt to circumstances." After speaking, Moqi continued to pay attention to the battle situation in the distance. On the battlefield without the Hyuga clan, it is very difficult to see the three of Moqi clearly from this distance. However, there are indeed many impulsive characters in the Uchiha family. But in this era, impulsive people died early on the battlefield because of the survival of the fittest. Different from the Uchiha in the peacetime decades later, the Uchiha family in this period is at the top level in terms of strength and character. The lesson of the blood of the restless clansmen told the later generations that one should never act impulsively on the battlefield, which would directly destroy the entire Uchiha clan. People from the Haughty clan are fighting with people from the Yi clan. It's hard to understand that as a family in the second echelon of strength, they can fight against two families of the same level by themselves. Sanji rarely laughed at this time, watching not far away. the Haughty clan who was stabbing the body of a ninja of the Yi clan with a bone knife looked crazy. The families in the first echelon are Uchiha and Senju, the rest of the families second only to Uchiha and Senju are the second echelon, which also includes the Sarutobi and Chimera families in the north of the Senju family. It's not difficult to understand that most of the abilities of the Haughty people rely on blood successor boundaries, and their life force is very short. They started learning to fight at the age of 5 and fully awakened dead bone pulse at about 15 years old. After that, people of the Haughty tribe will begin to have physical problems, and then die at the age of less than 30. This is the fate of the Haughty tribe. It is said that most of the people who can live for a long time are because of relying on the body. Otherwise, whether the Kagaya group can survive is still unknown. After listening to Sanji's words, Moqi directly stated the information he knew about the Haughty clan. As the son of the patriarch, it is a great thing to have his own father's intelligence system, and it is very important for the country of fire and even the entire ninja world. All the family information I came into contact with knew a thing or two, but they didn't know enough about the information in the country of water, because the lack of borders led to the blockage of information. No matter what they do, since there is a war now, we will help the situation by saying anything. While calculating, Moqi quietly waited for the night to fall. Fortunately, I copied a lot of water-style techniques during the day, otherwise, I might not be able to pretend to be a ninja from the Yi clan. Water-style water gunluan. Late at night, Moqi came to the border area of the Haughty tribe alone. In the depths of Kagaya's position, the glutinous rice slurry slowly floated on the ground, and after a while, Moqi saw that everything around was almost safe, and quietly came to the camp of the wounded of the Haughty tribe. The glutinous Moqi entered it quietly, and countless glutinous rice balls flew out of the body, attached to Kagaya's wounded one by one, penetrated into the wound and obliterated all the wounded in the night. On Yuyi's side, the Yi family is good at using lightning style and water style. Before Moqi could get close, he was sensed by an inexplicable energy from the opponent, so he had no choice but to withdraw from the border. Moqi, who quit the two camps, still had mixed feelings when he thought of the Kagaya ninja who had been killed completely. After all, a few years ago, Moqi saw with his own eyes that his tribe was not treated in time because of the backward medical level. Died on the hospital bed, this incident deeply hurt Moqi's heart, and this time the ninja who killed Kagaya reminded Moqi of this incident again. Moqi, what's wrong with you? It's okay. Moqi just shook his head, and then motioned for the two brothers to retreat with him. Since the Haughty clan has already fought with several families unscrupulously, it is better to leave here after observing for a while. Having said that, Moqi and Sanji Yuji intend to leave here in a week, and the summoning of Ninja Hawk will take some time. Chapter 10. Do you desire power? Are you eager to succeed? A look of failure is worthless. Or, are you planning to live, grow old, get sick and die like this? Rather than that, why not fight hard? My fate is up to me. Who are you? In the back mountain of Uchiha, unable to sleep all night, Moqi lay in the cold water, as if this could relieve the strange voice in his brain, but it seemed that the voice entered his brain through the water, and it became clearer. Dark night. Moqi seems to see a mirror world. The one I was facing was myself, and behind that was a tall and mighty body, but the mouth was indeed a big-mouthed eel, which directly lowered the level of vigilance in Moqi's heart. This is Charlotte Katakuri. You are really too weak, with such a defeated face, it is an insult to Nunayuoguo's ability. You should understand that this is not a game, and you are not the predestined protagonist. In anyone's world, everyone else is someone else, and you will always be more or less a part of others' eyes or even memory. What are you going to do with your life? A person will die twice in his life. The first time is when his consciousness completely disappears into this world, and the other time is when the last person in the world who remembers you dies. Che! You are useless. The last mouth shape gives Moqi such a signal. It also shows that Moqi's strength at this time is weak, and he is afraid of some things, so he has no progress. He only has a small place like Uchiha, and he has no broad horizons. Cough cough cough. Cough cough cough. This feeling is really uncomfortable. Weightless and suffocated, Moqi's eyes gradually recovered after walking through the level of suspended animation. Summoning technique. With the seal of summoning technique slamming on the ground, the original ninja appeared in front of Moqi. After watching Sanji and Yongji sit on the back of Ninja, Moqi directly ordered Ninja to flap its wings and fly to air. People have been sent away, it's time to start the adventure. Watching Sanji and Yuji leave, Moqi set off in the direction of the Haughty clan. After all, compared to the Yi clan's water style, the Haughty clan's dead bone pulse blood successor limit is vulnerable to Nyon-Yakuo. After bidding farewell to the two, Moqi embarked on a journey alone. Even at this time, the battlefields of Haughty and Yi clans are still filled with horrible smell of blood. The battlefield that hadn't had time to clean up was silent at this time, and after Moqi appeared, only a few crows were startled. This is the bone of the Teruyuki tribe. Moqi looked at the bones of dead Bone Pulse, a member of the Haughty tribe who died on the battlefield. His glutinous body gently picked up the bone sword that was deeply inserted into the ground, and tried hard with both hands. The sword was directly split in two by Moqi. The hardness and strength of the bones of the Haughty people are about 10 times that of normal ninjas, but as long as they are strong enough, or break the eyes of the Kagaya ninja, the Haughty people are not afraid. After roughly analyzing the bone hardness of the Haughty tribe, Moqi began to prepare for the next step. Instead of going head-to-head, no, head-to-head is the behavior of a reckless person. Only strength and wisdom are the best behavior indicators at present. And a few hours ago, when the sun just peeped out, the people of Kagaya found that all the wounded in the medical center died in different ways, and the deaths were inexplicable. What exactly is going on? As the patriarch of Kagaya, he watched his son lying on the hospital bed, his eyes fixed on the ceiling, telling everyone present that he was assassinated. Moreover, the traces of the corpse fully showed that he was suffocated to death by the enemy after he was injured, without a single sound, and his body showed a gesture of fierce resistance, but in the end, only despair remained. As a patriarch who only had a son at the age of 30, the death of his son would drive the middle-aged man completely crazy. When hopeless, a desperate human being is extremely terrifying. However, the problems that anger can solve are limited to their own reality. Within, perhaps 200% of the degree of violence. Master Patriarch, all the wounded here are the same. They were all smothered to death by the enemy, and their bodies were all in a state of resistance, but it seemed that this resistance was restrained by something. Among all the families we know, there is such a as for the ability, only the Uchiha family who are good at illusion, the Nara family who are good at shadow binding, the Yamanaka family who control people's hearts, and the Pommel Horse family have such abilities, but we are far away from Uchiha. Uchiha is the first to be excluded. The Nara family and the Yamanaka family have no peace. The reason for our war is far away from us, and the only possible one is the Kuruma clan who are rumored to be better at using illusion than the Uchiha clan. No matter what family it is impossible to approach our medical center quietly. Did you get the news that someone sneaked into our interior last night? Patriarch Kagaya was heartbroken by the pain of demise, but he still calmly analyzed it, but no matter how he analyzed it, the existence of glutinous fruit has always been a mystery in this world. Chapter 11. Late at night. When all is silent, the figure of Uchiha Moqi quietly appeared in the dark alley deep in the Kagaya tribe. Nyonyo fruit increases the height, with the three-eyed fox mask on the face, a low and hoarse voice, and the Sharingan in the eyes is also closed at the same time. Changing the physical characteristics is to avoid being recognized, until the height reaches 2 meters. Even if they are discovered like this, it is impossible to think that they are from Uchiha. After all, it is generally recognized that the only one who is generally tall is Senju from the north. As for the hidden figure, but who on earth? Jingle bell. When Moqi stepped into the range of the Haughty clan's position, he was immediately noticed by the guards. After the information was transmitted, Moqi began to exert his full strength, pinching the necks of the 4 guards one after another. Although the Haughty clan is proud of the ninja world, it is the powerful dead bone pulses blood successive boundary and physical skills, but glutinous rice cannot be afraid of hacking, as long as the whole body remains glutinous. Predicting the location of the attack in advance is nothing to be afraid of. The alliance or war between families is very simple to unite and break out. It is easy for the weak to unite with a strong enemy, and the war is even simpler. Give 2 beggars a coin, and they will fight to the death in order to survive. Fight. The distance from the warning position is less than 200 meters. It doesn't take a second for the sound to be transmitted here. Everyone reacts and gathers the fighting force to indicate that they have entered a combat state. According to Moqi's calculations, as long as 30% of the Haughty's vitality is killed, the family can be saved for at least 10 years. There can be no waves inside. This calculation is the conclusion drawn by Uchiha's ancestors through countless sacrifices. A family needs not only defensive personnel to protect, but also workers who go out to overcome obstacles for the survival of the family. The production force, and the loss of this number will cause the population to shrink significantly in a certain period of time, and the reduced population will attract the attacks of countless carnivores, which means that the family is not far away from extinction. Are you Kagaya Hayuk, the current patriarch of the Terayuki clan? It doesn't look like much. How about it? Is it a heart-piercing pain after the death of your son? Hearing Moqi's words, Kagaya's blushing eyes stared at Moqi's masked face with bloodshot eyes, and the bone sword protruding from the palm of his hand had already shown his attitude. Don't be so flustered. Why do you think I would appear in front of you and say this? As the patriarch, even if it's a bloody feud, bowing your head in front of the future of the family is the most real thing, isn't it? Who is your excellency, and why do you want to be an enemy of our Haughty? Who am I? I don't have the obligation to answer you. As the patriarch of the Haughty clan, are you interested in listening to me, the person who killed my son? For example, the current situation of the Terayuki clan is. Before the words fell, Kagaya Hayuk immediately came to Moqi's back, and the bone sword in both hands cut a huge cross wound on Moqi's chest, but the wound returned to its original state in the blink of an eye. You're really impatient, Chief Kagaya. It's not fair to your people to insist on going to war. Although I expected Kagaya's irritable personality, but as the patriarch, an old man in his 30s is still so irritable, even more irritable than Raikage in the Land of Thunder. No wonder this family can't live long after arriving in the Land of Water. It's ironic that he was killed by his own people. No, Uchiha is ironic too. Since you don't want to bow your head, then a little death should restore your composure. As soon as the words fell, Moqi came to Kagaya Hayuk in an instant, and grabbed his wrist with both hands. Kagaya's human ability is the bone, and the bone in Kagaya Hayuk's forearm is only a piece that can support part of the joint movement. Grasping the wrist meant his arm was deprived of mobility by Moqi, and then threw it hard towards Kagaya's large team. Immediately afterwards, Moqi turned into an afterimage and entered the melting pot of Kagaya ninjas. The sudden catfish entered the sardines, and the instinct of carnivorous creatures saw a lot of fresh meat. Moqi doesn't know whether the warlike factor in the bones of the Uruaki tribe is inherited from Tsutsuki Kagaya, but where does this extraordinary warlike instinct come from? Moqi feels that he has guessed it, but he just can't believe it. That's all. What's the point of playing life for life? No one can understand another person. Although this sentence is relatively absolute, after experiencing it at a close distance, it seems that you can empathize with it, even if the person who died is not on your own side. There is no need for such a family to survive. Hush! Don't be so loud, it's not good for the recovery of the wounded. The sudden appearance of Moqi caused Kagaya Jainin, who was a little slower to react. Before he could react, Moqi's hands hugged his head and turned around, and the whole process didn't even have time for his eyes to pass the moment of Moqi's sudden appearance. It's over, it came so fast that Kagaya Hayek's bone sword didn't hit Moqi, but Moqi used the body of Kagaya Jainin who had been killed as a shield in front of the bone spur. Water-style water dragon bomb technique. The Senju family is good at a lot of ninjutsu, as well as fire style, but in order to hide, you can't use the fire style that you are used to instinctively. After all, the Great Fireball technique is still only used by the Uchiha family at this time. Uchiha standard ninjutsu is large-scale flooding came after Konoha village was built. What? The sudden water dragon roared and bit it, and together with Jainin, who was sacrificed just now, planned to engulf Kagaya Hayeki. Although he knew that this trick would not have much effect on Kagaya Patriarch, Moqi had no intention of killing this guy. With this guy, his ultimate goal is to make the Haughty clan more chaotic, that is, this group of fighting lunatics, who don't know how to use so many excellent metal ores at home, but simply rely on dead bone pulse, a deadly blood inheritance limit. As Moqi expected, the water dragon bomb rushed past Kagaya Jainin's body together with Kagaya Jainin's body. The instinct of a wild beast rushing up to bite the dead bodies of the same kind around it made Moqi even more disgusted with this Haughty tribe. It's really decisive to kill Kagaya Patriarch, now he is him, and he may not let go of his own children in the future. After all, you are Kagaya's Patriarch. For the benefit of the family, you should not be stingy about such a small thing. Sacrifice, don't you think? Do you know? Before your son died, he kept thinking about his parents. That kind of pain, thinking about it now really makes people feel hopeless. Ha ha ha. Chapter 12. Moqi's words shook the hearts of many Kagaya ninjas present. Yes, if the Patriarch treats them so cruelly, there will be no dead bodies. The Patriarch is such a cruel person, how should they deal with themselves? Could it be that you are pinning your hopes on this lunatic? In case one day his family makes him unhappy, will he kill their family completely? However, this kind of thinking has not been suppressed for a long time. After all, they are a fighting nation with a noble dead bone pulse. How could they listen to other people's nonsensical topics? Fighting is more suitable for them. It seems that the combat madman really has no brains. Seeing that his heart-attacking skills were ineffective, Moqi knew that a simple 1 or 2 words and one thing could not shake a group of people, at least make them lose hope or even despair before this kind of betrayal can occur. This is the most real. The family is connected by blood, but Moqi has the time and is only 8 years old. Even if these lunatics are killed, it is still unknown whether the next generation can grow up. Moqi has the time and strength, so he is not worried at all. When Kagaya Hayeki heard the words from Moqi's hoarse voice, his anger reached a climax. How could this mouth speak so well? A few words made his people distrust him for a moment. It is unacceptable for this kind of thing to happen, even for your own descendants, provoking the authority of the Patriarch, looking for death. Dead bone pulse 10-finger piercing. While observing the expression of Kagaya's core combat power, he was always on the lookout for Kagaya Hayashi's actions. As Moqi expected, the macho Patriarch who did not allow to challenge his authority really launched an attack. His hands and fingers exerted force, muscles, and chakra continuously instill it into the fingers, use chakra to make the bones grow super fast and the muscles accumulate strength, and when the arm is swung, the bone spurs in the fingers are thrown out suddenly, similar to the skill of Senbon projection, and it is also the most basic long distance that Kagaya is good at means of attack. But the development of blood succession boundary is not complete. Patriarch Kagaya, an attack of this level was caught by an irrelevant outsider. It seems that you are old, let's forget the position of Patriarch, the old man wouldn't it be good to leave the opportunity to the young people and enjoy the blessings later? In fact, the 10-finger piercing bullet hit Moqi's body and entered the body, but the stickiness of the glutinous rice made these bone spurs stay in the arm made of glutinous rice. When the palms were spread out, the 10 bone spurs seemed to be in the palm of Moqi. There is not a single trace of blood, causing Kagaya's ninjas to think that their patriarch is already in their 30s and misjudgments, which will play a big role in the future. No. Impossible. The power of my 10-finger piercing bullet can already penetrate thick steel. Who the hell are you, a monster? Why can you block my attack? Immediately afterwards, the sharp thorn shattered Kagaya Heiich's inner defense again, and the bone spur that pierced through Moqi's feet became a stepping stone for Moqi, making Moqi look taller, and what happened everything made the patriarch collapse. Why did such a person appear? I've said it before, the power of your Uchiha clan is nothing more than a wisp of smoke in my eyes, and a breeze blowing by it is just a passing cloud, worthless. So, now, have the patience to listen to me. Kagaya Heiich was silent for a moment. Who the hell are you? According to your strength, you shouldn't be an unknown person. Humph. As the patriarch, do you still need to ask a question twice? But I have already said that I have no obligation to answer you. However, you have paid a little price for your actions. Don't look at me with this expression, it's just that 13 clansmen died, so it shouldn't be a big deal to you. It's really not possible. Wouldn't it be good if all the clansmen present were dead? Earth-style steel cage. As soon as the words fell, a thick steel wall stood within a radius of 100 meters with Moqi as the center, like spring bamboo shoots constantly gathering, surrounding everyone present. At the same time, the awakening power of the glutinous fruit was activated, and all the Kagaya ninjas were instantly covered by the huge glutinous rice balls, and the appearance of the glutinous rice wrapped around the Koki ground shocked all the Kagaya ninjas. It consumes a lot of physical strength, but I can still persist. Now is the time for you to choose, whether to choose to believe them or kill everyone, everything is only in your mind. Kagaya Heiich's eyes are unpredictable, but Moqi is disgusted by that disgusting soul after all. Thanks to Charlotte Katakuri's soul, Moqi can see the darkness deep in other people's hearts. At this time, Kagaya Zaokai, the heart is like the king in the story of the common people who was ordered by the king to pour milk in the swimming pool. What he saw early the next morning was the feeling of a pool full of water. This guy is hopeless. Earth-style heart beheading technique. Seeing that Kagaya Heiich was hesitant, Moqi directly helped him make a choice. No one who had seen his ability could live. Paramecia elementalization using Nyonyo fruit in battle is normal, and it is not uncommon to be discovered. It doesn't matter, you can walk in the darkness of the ninja world, see the light and die like Shimura-dans. Even so, Moqi still gave Kagaya Hayashi a hope, because all the Kagaya ninjas who fell into the ground still have a pair of hands struggling on the ground. The ground is not only hard stones and dirt, but also countless glutinous rice balls, tightly entwined all over their bodies. This ninjutsu can make the enemy slowly lose life in suffocation. In theory, people can feel the pain of endless despair and feel the coldness of life passing. The time is 3 minutes, but the violent struggle will consume a lot of the remaining oxygen in the body. The time left for you to make a decision is probably. While speaking, Moqi stretched out his right hand and spread his 5 fingers, indicating that there are only 50 seconds left in his time. This time must also take into account that some people may not have so much lung capacity, and the calculation is an approximate average of all people. Seeing the hands of the clansmen struggle on the surface, and some even use dead bone poles to resist, Moqi just snorted coldly. The sticky glutinous rice has an absolute advantage against dead bone poles, and such ostentatious and violent resisting will only speed up the flow of life. After a few breaths, those who used dead bone poles to resist did not survive even 30 seconds, and their muscles immediately softened, obviously losing their lives. At this time, I am still struggling. I really can't help it. Such a patriarch really has no value to continue. Orochimaru praised Kagaya Kimimaro as the most perfect boarding body. Moqi understands what it means. This race is a group of brainless pure beasts. It's no wonder that their attacking skills are ineffective, or that they don't understand the meaning of what they said at all, and it is still a reality to be killed and wiped out. Perhaps the starting point of dead bone pulse, which was passed down in the blood, was to create an established power that could protect a certain existence. I choose to believe them. Really? Seeing Kagaya Hayek's hesitant answer, Moqi just responded softly, but then all the Kagaya tribe lost their lives. Without him, this guy's hesitation will only expose himself in the end, and this is not what Moqi needs. Low-key development is the kingly way, and farming development is the right way. Unfortunately, 50 seconds have passed, and there are no people who know what happened between you and me. After finishing speaking, his hands began to formally seal, and the steel cage slowly sank into the ground, and the corpse of Kagaya Ninja also rushed to the ground. Looking at Kagaya Sayek, who regretted endlessly, Moqi walked forward slowly, left a word when he passed Kagaya Sayek and left. Chapter 13. People like you have no value in cooperation at all. Take your clansmen and get out early. Leaving the front line of the Kagaya position, Moqi was not in a hurry to return to Uchiha immediately, but wandered around the jungle in the south. Compared with the bustling city, sometimes the quiet woods can bring people an inexplicable sense of comfort. The same, forests that have not been exploited by humans are also full of dangers. However, when dealing with Kagaya's ninjas before, Moqi discovered that the power of Nyonyo fruit has been very proficient, thanks to the man who pursued perfection, blocking all Kagaya ninjas' actions, using the earth-style technique that he never dared to use wantonly, and putting the enemy played with dimensionality reduction blows between applause. With such strength, there is a high probability of winning against non-water style specialized ninjas. The amount of chakra has also reached 50 times that of before. With this amount of chakra, no one will doubt it if they dye their hair and say they belong to the Uzumaki family. The glutinous rice form, which is exactly the same as nature, is extremely convenient whether it is hiding or fighting. Although the Kingdom of Fire has only one daimyo in name, the area actually controlled is the surrounding area of the City of Fire, occupying 1/10 of the territory of the Kingdom of Fire. Whether it is minerals, forests, or farmland and medicinal mountains, this area has abnormal resources. Rich, most coincidentally, are the two largest families around, Uchiha and Senju. A small village. The most common mass unit in the Land of Fire, like the ninja clan, is passed down by family and blood, but more, it is a mechanism for reporting groups to keep warm. Rewind the time to 15 minutes ago. The people in this village are plowing in the spring, and only at this time will they be able to get a good harvest in the golden autumn. Unfortunately, before they have time to go out to cultivate, a large group of robbers stepped into the village and started burning, killing and looting. When they saw men, they waved their butcher knives, and saw women, he took out the rope and tied them together, almost like a pig or sheep waiting to be slaughtered. The mournful sound reached Moqi. Even though he still maintained a huge glutinous body, it still did not affect his hearing to receive the transmission of this message, and the smell of blood was too strong. Hey! It doesn't matter who you are, but being so arrogant in front of me is too embarrassing for me. Seeing a group of people packing up supplies in front of him, and treating ordinary women and girls as goods, Moqi felt that his face was a bit unbearable. Standing at the gate of the village, his two eyes were not straight. The door frame is made of the trunks of tall trees, with his left hand supporting his body, and a samurai sword protruding from the palm of his right hand, which is too small compared to Moqi's body at this time. Boy, who do you think Lao Zi is, who dares to speak like this in front of my uncle? He's tired of it. Ha ha ha. Hearing the arrogant words pointed at Moqi by the boss with a machete, the other robbers also laughed. It was not aimed at their boss, but Moqi, a man with a kunao in his hand, wearing a mask. Do you really think you are awesome? Do you know that the masked people they hacked to death can be discharged to the seaside from here? Go. Chop him up and feed it to the dogs. Wow! What can attract Moqi here is not this group of thieves, but the chakra that erupted just now. The icy chakra has only the powerful Uchiha clan in the land of fire, and this coldness is actually physical. Feeling, and because of seeing this huge ice flower, Moqi appeared here. The ice flower that fell in the pool of blood did not kill the robber. The pure desire to survive stimulated the blood successor limiter in his body. In Moqi's view, this is the greatest wealth. You must know the value of the blood successor limiter, but very high, and the upper limit of growth is also higher. Snort. Earth-style death suffocation. While reciting ninjutsu silently, the robbers rushed up and fell into Moqi's ninjutsu trap. What is this thing? It's so sticky that I can't get rid of it. Help, help. I can't stand up. Who else? Ah! Countless voices finally turned into screams, and they were buried on this blood-stained land together with their poor and sinful life. Help me! Don't worry, since you have begged me sincerely, I will save you once with great mercy. But from today onwards, your life belongs to me, and no one can take your life from me in the future. Take away. I said, not even Joey Boy. Holding his thin body, Moqi turned around and walked out of the village. As for those women, Moqi was not very interested. Whether they can survive after untying the rope is their own fate. However, in the troubled times, they are just ants. Only when he came to a sunny area did he put the little devil down, and after checking the wound, Moqi lamented that this guy's life was great. Swedgy boundary not only burst out the will to survive, but also slowed down the flow of blood, prolonging the golden time for him to be healed. Only in this way can Moqi treat with peace of mind. Remove the clothes on the body, there are fine linen fibers around the wound, remove this part of necrotic tissue, use alcohol to disinfect, wipe the blood around, expose the wound to the sun, apply medicine after all treatments are completed, and wrap it in medical gauze. It is not over until the wound and the whole body are covered. After watching me for so long, a large group of people should show up. That's right. All the women in the village followed Moqi just now. There was no way. Without the protection of men, a group of weak women were just lambs staying there. Besides, there were children among them. Moqi took a rough look and saw that the number of them was about 100, not many. But it's not a lot. Even 1 caddy of millet and 4 taels of meat per person per day is worth 200 caddies of grain. Please, please, take us in. Take us in. Without you, we would definitely die here. We can do a lot of things, whether it's doing farm work, raising livestock, doing laundry, or cooking. Then they knelt in front of Moqi, kowtowed and begged Moqi to take him in. After seeing Moqi kill those villains easily by himself, they decided that there would be a way out with Moqi, even if it wasn't Sunshine Avenue. They should. Life and death are not impermanent. The women who can live in front of Moqi are selected by the robbers for their value. It will not take much effort to take them in, but showing their true value is what Moqi needs most. It is a cruel world. If you want to follow me, you can only become my slaves, if you. We do. *N. Before Moqi finished speaking, everyone thanked Moqi for his mercy, making Moqi's words stuck in his throat. Now that he has made up his mind, Moqi will not be stingy with food in exchange for labor. Anyway, Uchiha's population is not very large. Farming, raising livestock or something, using ninjutsu to realize the modernization of labor would be fine, and it happens that I have to form a team, and Sanji and Yuji are about to find a wife. Looking at these women, one of them still focused on the little ghost beside him, saying that there was no relationship. Moqi didn't believe it. If there was a relationship, it meant that there must be blood or family connection. With such a woman, the possibility of blood succession bounded *X is still relatively high. As long as it is awakened, it is a reliable fighter. Chapter 14. I came to the southern region with the intention of disturbing Kaguya in the south, but found that the Haughty clan had long muscles but not brains by accident. Although the Yuyi and Hyuga clans were not very good at dealing with Kaguya's ninjas, the three clans could still fight each other. Maintain balance. I met an Isa tribute chakra who suddenly awakened in a village. As a result, I took back 131 women by mistake, of which 108 were over 18 years old, and there was a boy, and even the most amazing, it's that woman, it's his sister, because he was slashed by a knife for resisting the robbers and awakened Bingdu, that is, the blood successor limit of the Mizunozuki clan, but after learning about their situation, Moqi thinks that they will appear this blood inheritance boundary should be an atavistic phenomenon. A man and a woman both have the blood succession limit of the water without moon, and there are 2 more fighters, and maybe even Sanji's wife can be dealt with. For Moqi, this time is not a loss. Let's eat. The glutinous rice balls gushing out of the palm of the right hand come out one after another, using Moqi's physical strength as energy to transform them into edible glutinous rice balls, wild vegetables, and fruits and meat supplies that can be found after some time. In Moqi's view, they are their most solid labor force. With their dedication, Uchiha's overall logistics level will continue to burst out vigorous vitality and miracles on this basis. It is difficult to lead more than 100 people through the defense lines of Kaguya, Hyuga, and Yui. The only way is to take them to rock and roll. Before that, they need to raise their bodies. They look too thin and feel it falls when the wind blows. The way home is far away, but as long as the hearts are connected, we can see each other on the moon even if we are thousands of miles apart, and the string of longing is tightly wound in Moqi's heart. It's already late and still not going to sleep? Mizuki Eiko. Are you having nightmares again? Moqi patted the open space beside her and motioned her to sit down. The pain caused by the war cannot be resolved overnight, and all Moqi can do is to fight for the future in a limited time. The hoarse and deep voice reached Hideko Mizumizuki's ears, but it made her feel peaceful. The ability to kill bandits in an instant has already made her 12-year-old girl's heart fall for Moqi, a 2-meter-tall vicissitudes man. How would you feel after seeing the real Moqi? Moqi is only 8 years old. Are you going to take us to your house next? After a long silence, Yingzi finally broke the silence, and Moqi was actually thinking about how to transport this group of people. Glutinous rice donuts. Even Uchiha Sanji and Yangji vomited after sitting. This group of women who are powerless, don't make fun of their lives, it is inevitable that there will be some crazy guys in the 3 families of ordinary people. It is absolutely impossible to prevent this kind of thing from happening. The only way is to avoid this kind of thing from happening. However, Moqi thinks that there is no need to think about it so much. Yes, only those who are guaranteed to survive in the end are eligible to live as their subordinates. With this in mind, Moqi started the first big wheel 3 days later. Uchiha Back Mountain. When the summoning time of summoning ninja was about to end, the 2 let go of their eagle claws and jumped to the ground. Looking at ninja disappeared in the smoke, the 2 looked at each other, but they understood the firmness in each other's eyes. If they were stronger not to be protected by Uchiha Moqi. The 2 full of motivation started the devil's practice during the time when Moqi was away. They don't say how much Moqi usually asks, as long as they can complete the total amount of Moqi. Intense metal collisions, fist-to-flesh passion, and exciting years. A month later. When Uchiha Moqi left the back mountain on the 29th day, Sanji and Sanji still collided fists and feet on this day, but in the eyes of ordinary people, it was just a bunch of afterimages that continued to erupt fierce shock waves, and the 2 Tomo Sharingan in their eyes was fully it shows their development during this period of time. Yangji, who originally only had Shangyu, has also improved his pupil skills. Buzz. At this time, the sound of buzzing vehicles moving rapidly came from a distance in the jungle of the back mountain, accompanied by billowing dust, countless birds and beasts flying in fright, and fierce beasts running in all directions showed their identity. Uchiha Moqi's abilities are really enviable. He will be in front of us in just a few seconds. Sanji saw the body that had stopped fighting here, and looked at the double-hook jade spinning rapidly in the distance, but he still couldn't see Moqi clearly at what speed is it spinning. No matter what this guy is, this time I must let the other party feel the strength of my uncle this time I must hit him all over the place. Yang Ji clenched his right fist to show the solid strength of his right arm muscles. Sanji subconsciously took a step back when he heard Yuji's words. Yuji looked at Sanji's movements, and thought to himself, "Are you serious, brother? You have changed. It's only you who are looking for teeth everywhere, I'd better stay away from you so as not to hurt the fish in the pond. I rely on it." I don't know if Uchiha Moqi has been spinning for too long, causing him to rush up in a daze when he saw the big tree in front of him. Seeing Sanji and Yang Ji, his heart returned instantly. They were standing on this tree just now, and in a blink of an eye only firewood logs left to burn. "Moqi, UBD, do you know that speeding will kill you?" Immediately after the big tree was crushed, Moqi's wheels slammed on the brakes and stopped in front of Yang Ji. Seeing the huge wheels rolling, Yang Ji showed the berserker spirit of life and death, and hit the rice cake sweet with his fist. "On donuts!" Boom! The bottom will also crack, and it actually shocked me when I was in front of Moqi's rice cake. Is this the unconventional greeting when we meet? Sure enough, you are still the Uchiha Yuji I know, but you are not the only one who has grown up. As you can see, my strength has also grown, even surpassing the previous level. While talking, Moqi wrapped the 132 people in the body. The 130 people lying on the ground have passed out due to motion sickness and slight hypoxia, and the 2 people who can sit on the ground and vomit have already shown the most basic quality of being a strong person is to resist motion sickness. Another 2 poor, unlucky guys. But why do I feel so happy in my heart? When the Sanji brothers saw the 2 who were vomiting, tears flashed in their eyes, and they didn't know the joys and sorrows. Chapter 15. After explaining for a while, Sanji Yang nodded, expressing his understanding of Moqi's plan. "So you brought these people back to relieve the family's logistical pressure? So pure." Sanji didn't believe that Moqi's plan was just for productivity. Based on his understanding of Uchiha Moqi, it was only one aspect of Moqi's biggest. The characteristic is that if you can't make a 300% profit in the action, it will be a loss-making action. A person with such a character will not mobilize people just for the sake of 132 women, or mobilize people like this. What Sanji imagined Moqi didn't know, the most important thing right now was to wake them up. Nowadays, the villages in the Land of Fire are all independent individuals. People in the area actually controlled by the daimyo of the Land of Fire are guaranteed to have their lives. One less is a plunder of the daimyo's interests. The unwritten rules of each family are that they will not attack these ordinary people, but as long as they have chakra, whether they are ninjas or not, they will be killed. Let me introduce to you, the owners of Ice Escape Blood Successor Boundary, Minajiki Hideko and Minajiki Linyat. Pulling a woman and a man to stand on his left and right sides respectively, the height of Moqi who regained his original appearance is only the height of Lin Yi's younger brother. Uchiha Sanji, who was originally the tallest, became the second in an instant after Yingzi came. At the age of 14 the bones of girls are already developed. That's all for ordinary people. The descendants of the 2 ninjas who suddenly appeared, even like them, are also blood successor limit holders. No matter how you look at it, they feel very weird, as if 2 new believers appeared, competing with themselves for who this is the general status of the first believer. Okay, let's talk about other things later. The first thing is to find a place for them to settle down outside, not too far from Uchiha but not within the controllable range of Uchiha. Seeing that the air seemed a bit cold, Moqi the first step was proposed, and he already had a blueprint in his mind. Their main job next was to build walls and accumulate food. As for the reputation of the worthless first family, it was nothing compared to the strength of the family. Ming is worthless. Building a house requires wood and stones. Most of the houses of our Uchiha clan are made of wood. If you use stones, you can only use nearby materials, but the stones there are used to defend the Senju clan. Wood and stone do not need to be mined. Think about it another way. We only need the existing bricks and wood. The definition is as long as it is a house. Besides, there are only 3 of us who can act as labor force. Look at them. Do you have the ability? Indeed, these 130 people are not enough for me to fight alone. Yang Ji squinted at these skinny and weak people, and he really couldn't do it because of his unparalleled pride. It's meaningless to say these things now. The most important thing is to solve the problem. Sanji, you stay and temporarily arrange a straw hut for them to live in, and I will hand over the materials. What about me? You just continue to practice. Let me see if your practice during this period of time is worthy of your tone in a month's time. The 2 of you haven't systematically learned how to refine chakra. For the time being, you need to maintain your health and learn the basics of ninjas. 1 month, I will come back in only 1 month, and the 2 of them will ask you Sanji. Also, remember to take care of me. Let's have a look at Madara and Izuna, Yuji. Why am I the one who takes care of the children? It wasn't always. If you have any opinions, wait until I come back. This is an order. Ahem. Yuji, obey Captain Makai's orders. Seeing that the 2 directly agreed, Yang Ji didn't speak, but felt that he lost his anger for a moment. It takes a lot of energy to raise children. Besides, there are several people in the family who are unhappy with the 2 brothers and Makai, especially the grandson of the 2nd elder, Uchiha Moqi, a genius with a withdrawn personality and the same age as Makai, has never appeared in front of Makai after being taught by Makai to be a man with physical skills. It is said that he is about to move recently. Speaking of which, Makai, do you remember the Uchiha Ink Crow? It doesn't matter, let's go. Without giving Yang Ji a chance to continue to supplement, Makai turned into a wheel and rolled away from the back mountain. The super acceleration caused billows of dust to rise in an instant. The capital of the Fire Kingdom. The first thing I saw was a high wall made of huge stones. It was about 20 meters long. The stones at the gate of the city were even bigger and neater. Each stone was 50 centimeters in length, width, and height. I don't know what is the significance of doing this, but Makai feels that these stones are not used by himself for the time being. Entering the city gate, the first thing you see is a commercial area, but 3 or 2 beggars directly turned Makai's feeling for the capital of the Fire Kingdom upside down. Beggars are just an appearance. It was much darker than I imagined. Wherever there is light, there is darkness. Where there are winners, there must be losers. The more dazzling the light, the purer the darkness. The heart of a person should be like a big tree. The more he yearns for the light on the heights, the roots must be deeply rooted in the soil. Into the depths of darkness. Beggars are just a phenomenon, and Makai is not interested at all. As soon as he entered the commercial area, he saw countless people kneeling on the ground, both in the middle and on both sides. Seeing this, Makai realized that something was wrong, and disappeared in place instantly, observing why in the dark blind corner, the strange behavior of the sudden person will only make people feel unhappy, not to mention that this is the capital of the country of fire. After some time, the truth of the matter is evident. Sitting in the 8-carried sedan chair was a man with a famous name on his head. He looked as if he had practiced some kind of crooked kung fu, like an eunuch in a palace, a strange guy with incompatible yin and yang. This guy doesn't have a trace of chakra on him, and a ninja has to obey such a piece of shit. While Makai was muttering to himself, the daimyo called directly to the man walking beside him and said, "Stop, stop." After the sedan chair stopped, Makai saw that charming man walking up to a boy, caressing his cheek. The tenderness in his eyes made people tremble with fear. Makai wanted to tear such a guy to pieces in his mind for a moment. Even so, Makai insisted on watching the whole process. When he saw that person's parents being grateful, Makai felt that not only the ninja world was sick, but the world was really sick. When the original concept was completely subverted, Moqi, I feel that I need to rethink which direction Uchiha in the world should go in the future, start a rapid transformation at the peak of wealth and power, or start a path of killing in constant battles. It doesn't matter whose house is demolished. Chapter 16. Late at night, in the Daming mansion, a dark atmosphere in the room radiated out of the house along with the light, and the furnishings inside were dark red and lavender with a smell of blood and poison. Daimyo Nakuni is such a player who knows how to play. The glutinous rice-like body is like a speeding sports car, slipping in through the cracks in the city wall of the Daming mansion. After killing all the guards one by one, he came to the daimyo's residence. The most valuable treasure still has to come from the daimyo's mouth. It is only valuable to be tortured. As for whether it is true or not, it doesn't matter. As long as the result is that you get what you need and make extra money, then the result is the best. To measure an individual by value, although ordinary people do not have such a strong combat power, they are indeed the most numerous and weakest forces. Those who are higher than ordinary people are daimyo, who are also not strong but super rich. It's not that no one has thought about touching this cake so far, but they haven't succeeded. Ninjas are powerful, but they don't realize that in the world outside of fighting, order is easier to sort out. The saddest thing is indeed this group of numb people. Even if their rights are violated, the first choice is always to be patient. Seeing the numb eyes of the young man in loose white clothes lying on the bed, Moqi could only be furious. A man was born in the world, how can he live under the human for a long time? What a useless guy. If he died, he deserved it, and he deserved it. Baby! I'm coming! When Moqi kept killing the surrounding guards, the protagonist of the scene finally appeared, wearing charming red silk, peony flowers on his head, coquettish red lips, and the most terrifying thing is that he has a strong perfume and the mixed smell of sweat. After the impulsive ninja smell on the roof killed the last guard, Moqi came to this guy, that boy, it didn't matter anymore. His arms stretched out and grabbed Daimyo's neck, and in a flash he was gone. We arrived at the soup house in Daming Few. Up, down, left, right, Baba. After washing Daimyo's stool carefully and vigorously in the sink, Moqi thought he had cleaned the smell, and it was indeed clean. Daimyo's face was already blue, suffering from lack of oxygen and losing his original taste. Daimyo was in pain. I know you are not dead. If you don't wake up immediately, I will castrate you. The daimyo, who was going to pretend to be dizzy, was so frightened by Moqi's words that he came to his senses. He looked helplessly at Moqi, who didn't dare to say a word. He learned from his father that a real ruthless person doesn't talk nonsense. Had to wait for him to speak. I'll give you two choices now. One is to tell me honestly where all the treasures you know are, the other is to be cleaned up by me and finally eunuch you, and then you tell me where the treasures you know are where. From now on, I will give you 10 counting time. 10. 7. Did you make a mistake? Where are 8 and 9? 5. I said. I feel that Moqi is not a good talker. The daimyo is straight from the heart and dare not make fun of his own life. As the daimyo of this year, if someone finds out that he has walked through the eunuch's ghost gate from this moment on, it is still light to add insult to injury. If there is a full feast of man and han, it will be interesting. Life is better than death. Treasures I know. Thanks. After finishing speaking, Moqi used rice cakes to support the daimyo's digestive system, then took out a gleaming knife, looked at daimyo and said, please don't blame me. If you sacrifice yourself, you can save countless good boys. Even if it's another 10,000, I will still do this next time. Even though I don't know how to undergo neutering, I can still do castration. Remember to be a good person in the next life. Crack. Whoa. Snort. He glanced at the daimyo coldly. As for whether he can survive, it depends on himself. Moqi's move directly caused the kingdom of fire to fall apart. The death of the daimyo intensified the order established in the chaos when the general's ambitions swelled. Is very relaxing. Leaving Daming Mansion, Moqi felt that he hadn't managed to get past the plucking beast and leave the skin behind, so. Early the next morning, when the guards of the Daming mansion began to walk to the place where they stood guard according to their usual habits, many people had already gathered around here. The guards were stunned to see nothing but a few people lying there. What about the Daming mansion? It was fine here yesterday. What happened? Overnight, there were only some scraps left in the Daming mansion, no matter whether it was stones or nothing, the most important thing. It was the eyeliners of the other generals who saw the daimyo who fell to the ground and passed out. No matter who attacked the daimyo, the most important thing right now is that the daimyo has no sun, and no heir means that their master can go online. All the eyeliners they all chose to go back to report the news in a very tacit understanding. Maybe if they are lucky, they will get a lot of rewards. And the instigator, using the identity of Senju Butsuma, was heading towards the door, and got the materials of a whole house of the daimyo, which is enough to support the houses of 300 people. This is a big profit. Jump. Bouncing. Leaving the capital city of the Land of Fire, Moqi calculated that he still had plenty of time to go back, and planned to stock up on some combat supplies before going back, but after he came out, he changed into Katakuri's handsome and cold image in the woods. No need to hide identity, just wrapped in a scarf. The sound of fighting once again aroused the curiosity of the Moqi boy. Fire style great fireball technique. Wind style great breakthrough. Great fireball technique, as the standard ninjutsu of the Uchiha family, the concentrated embodiment of its flame is the bright yellow fireball at the core, which is also